Welcome back to the vlog. We're going to be at the Hustler Casino for our meetup game. This was on March 19th. Fun time with Fish Poker, Happy Face Holdem, Think Blue Poker, Andrew Locke, and myself. Also, Wolfgang Poker came in and visited and played, and so was Branson Poker. He was there and had a real good time. Everyone got along great. Um, I was playing all right at the start, and then I kind of got into the fun aspect of the meetup game, and I lost my focus and played some hands not so great. Anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy. Here it comes. I scheduled our drive to arrive at Hustler Casino an hour before the meetup game. I ended up arriving approximately 2 minutes before the meetup game, so I had no time to get accustomed to the casino or take some beautiful footage. And for those of you who don't know, I am probably the most punctual person you will ever meet in the casino world. So for me to get there 2 minutes before the actual meetup game starts, yeah, there was a lot of stress. Anyway, we jump into the action with 5-4 of hearts on the button, open for a raise to 15. I get called by the +1, so we're going to go heads up to this flop with $35 in the pot. Well, the flop, it's a good one. It comes 6, 8, 7. So we flop the bottom end of the straight, and it's a very disguised hand. It's check to me. I c-bet for 15. My opponent mentions that, oh yeah, I know you like to c-bet, and he puts in the quick call. Looking to get a little action on a blank turn. We get a 6 of hearts. Not the greatest card in the world, but if he has a 6, we're definitely going to be getting some action from him. He checks again. I continue this time for $30. And he decides to give it up. And since this is a friendly meetup game, I decided, hey, why not just show him what I was playing? So showed him I had the 5-4, and we're off to a good start. The next hand I play, I'm on the button again. This time I raised to 15. The small blind calls, and I just want to thank the small blind for his wonderful gift that he gave me once I arrived. And we go heads up to this flop. We got 33 in the pot, and the flop comes down not very good for my particular hand. It comes 10, 6, 9 with 2 hearts. He quickly checks to me, and even though I have 2 overs and a gutter, I decided to check this one back just because it really smashes his type of hand that I expect him to be calling with. He does lead for 20 on the turn, and I decided for $20, I'm going to give it a call and see if I can improve on the end. River card comes as a queen of spades. Pretty darn good card besides a blackjack, and he leads for 40. And I just thought in my head, well, if he has a 9, I'm going to pay him off. I don't think he's going to call any raise if I go for extra value with my top pair. So I just put in the call. He rolls over 10 deuce of hearts, so he flopped big and was planning to check raise me. I ended up sucking out, and we're 2 for 2. It seems unfair, but even a host of a meetup game is allowed to get 2 aces. This time one player limps in. I race to 20. End up getting 2 callers, one from another vlogger named Branson. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do so. He is really good, and I like the way he plays, and I like the way he presents himself at the table. The other player also puts in the call, so we're going to go 3 ways to this flop. And with $62 in the pot, looking for something very favorable, of course. We get a flop of King 7-3, but all clubs. They both check to me, and I can go between c-betting small and checking back. I decided just to check this one back. Turn card comes as a five of hearts. It does connect to a straight, but I really don't expect my opponents to have that. Branson puts in the check. Next player thinks a little bit and decides to wager out for $50. Now, he could be slow playing a flush and expected me to c-bet for him, but most likely he's sitting here with a king. I pretend to do a little club check just to make someone think that I might be on a flush draw in case, like Branson had a smaller flush draw. He folds out and we go heads up to the river, which is a ace of clubs. Oh, my opponent kind of looks like he wanted a bet and then he decides to check. This is usually a sign of weakness, but any club has me beat. I just check it back. He announces that he had a king and I show my aces and we are 3 for 3. So off to a good start in this meetup game. And now for the worst played hand of the day. I have king 10 on the button. I ended up raising to 15. I get two callers, one from Branson and one from the player next to him. And we see a flop of king 9, 7, two diamonds. They both check to me. Here, this should be a standard c-bet. Don't want to be checking back top pair with such a wet board that you can get value from straight draws and flush draws. But I do, and that was a horrible mistake. Turn card comes now is a 10 of clubs. Gives me top two pair. Branson checks. The next player ends up betting out for $40. I was going to just raise here and try to get value from that person betting into me, but it seemed like Branson was kind of interested in the hand, and I kind of wanted to mix it up with him, so I just flatted, which is another horrible mistake of the worst played hand of the day. Anyway, it looked like Branson was contemplating a raise, and he finally just puts in the call. So I'm thinking he has some sort of big drawing hand, and the river card comes as a jack of clubs. Yeah, it keeps on getting worse. Anyway, Branson checks it, the other player checks it. I say I played this hand like garbage, and therefore I am just going to check back. Branson turned over the jack 9 of spades, so he flopped a pair, made two pair. The other player had ace 8 and made a runner-runner straight. So just to illustrate how the non-standard check back on the flop cost me, if I was to bet on the flop with a standard c-bet, Branson would probably put in the call with his second pair. The other player with ace 8 would just ditch the hand. Turn card comes as a 10, giving Branson a pair and a double gutter. He would definitely call another bet. And after the river card, I would either win the pot outright or maybe have to make a tough call if Branson decides to bluff at it. But either way, it would have been a much better played hand if I just do a c-bet like I'm supposed to. So we're over at a new table. Sean from Hustler Casino is standing on my left. He was kind of talking to me about things in the meetup game. And I looked down at two queens in the big blind after there was an opener and a caller, and I raised to 80. I'm just doing this pure value, very strong hand. The opponent who opened for the raise kind of goes in the tank and puts in the call. The other player in the small blind thinks that I might be making a move, and he strongly considers a call also. I found out later that he was considering this with a hand like king queen suited. So anyway, he ends up folding, and we're going to go heads up to a flop, and I'm very pleased with my hand, and I think I'm way ahead of this other opponent who I'm putting on a medium pocket pair. The flop comes Jack, Jack 5. So it's not the greatest flop in the world. Any Jack has me beat, but I'm really thinking he has a pocket pair like 8s, 9s, or 10s. So I lead for $90, and I expect to get called by all those hands. And he doesn't have a very deep stack, and he might just shove with it. So he goes in the tank for probably about 15 seconds or so, and finally announces that he's just going to go all in. And naturally, I don't think that I'm behind. I actually think I'm ahead at this point. Would he really think for 15 to 20 seconds with trying to decide what to do with a jack in this spot? Anyway, I put in the quick call. We see a run out of a 6 of spades, followed by a deuce on the river, and my opponent turns over ace jack offsuit. Surprise. Well, I'm trying to shake off that last hand. There's a couple limpers. I look down at queen jack suited, put a raise to 15, End up getting called by 4 players. So we're going to go 5 ways to this flop of 9-5 deuce with 2 spades. And it's checked over to me. I figured 2 overcards, backdoor straight draw, and a flush draw. Yeah, I'm going to bet it. And so I go for about half pot of $40. Player next to me puts in the call, and so does one other player in the small blind. And now the +1 decides to raise. And you have to forgive me on this hand because I lost all my notes about the meetup game, and the footage of this does not actually show the cards properly. So this is a very close estimate of how the hand went down. Um, the raise was to 225, and I'm thinking, all right, did he flop a set? Perhaps he opened. So maybe he opened limp, so maybe he had pocket fives, pocket nines. But I got a flush draw, and still got those back doors. I don't know. I think the call is questionable, but I don't think it's horrible. Okay, so I make the call. If I didn't just lose that last pot, maybe I don't. I don't know, but I think I have a lot of equity. I still got my flush draw. I think it's good. My worry is that he might have something like top pair in a flush draw, and with the ace of spades. Turn card comes is a king of clubs, and he jams. It's not very much. His only stern stack was about $400. So now I picked up my gutter. I put in the call. He's trying to say, do you want to run it twice? And the dealer actually turned over the 4 on the end. And he goes, oh, it's too late. And he rolls over ace-3 of spades. So I was in deep trouble all the way through. My flush draw was no good, but I did have 9 outs on the turn. So after my hot start, everything has turned around and I'm reloading for 500. It all started with playing that king 10 of hearts hand bad, followed by flopping a little bit bad with those pocket queens, and now getting cooled off on this one with a hand that I got stuck playing. Anyway, time to reload, time to fight our way back, and off to the next hand. We move over to a different table. Maybe it'll bring us some new luck. We get ace jack suited from +1, open for a raise to 15, end up getting 3 callers for the 15. So we're going to end up going 4 ways to this flop, and we got $60 in the pot. Flop comes out ace queen 3 with 2 spades. So not a bad flop. We got top pair, we got a decent kicker, and we're the aggressor. It's check to us. We continue for $25. Get a call from a player at the far end of the table. He seems like a younger player, maybe just learning the game. I expect him to play pretty straightforward. Another call from a player near him. They seem like they might be friends, and he has a fairly decent sized stack of about 800. Turn card comes as a 2 of spades, and now the small blind with the big stack decides that this is the time to lead for $75. I don't think my hand's good. I muck it. Turns out that the player behind me had ace queen for top 2, and the player in the small blind had a small flush. So I was beat in both spots, but I managed to cut my losses and move on. Shortly after this hand, I ended up moving to a different table where my battery on my phone kind of went kaput. I didn't bring a charging box with me because I thought they had USB connectors at the tables, which I think would be a nice improvement if they put that in. As for the results of the meetup game, I think the biggest result is meeting everyone that came out to support the vloggers that were there. It was an honor to play with you, and thank you for all your generous gifts. Vince gave me a very nice bottle of tequila. I'm sure my wife is going to enjoy that, and thank you very much. I appreciate your generosity. I also like to say thanks to Sean over at Hustler Casino to have us there. It was fun to be there, and I look forward to coming back and having another meetup game there in the future. Financially, not the best day for me. I ended up losing $750. Yeah, I played some hands bad. Let's just say bad. And I didn't run great in certain spots, but meetup games were more about having the fun and meeting the people. and we definitely had that. I also like to thank Wolfgang Poker and Branson Poker for coming out and helping support our meetup game. If you haven't checked out their channels, you're definitely missing something. And of course, there's a big shout out to my fellow vloggers, Andrew Locke, Think Blue Poker, Happy Face Holdem, and Fish Poker. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for making this all happen. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the Felt sometime soon. And speaking of Andrew Locke is having a meetup game this upcoming Thursday at the Ace and Vine Casino in Napa Valley. I'm gonna probably crash it. So if any of you are around or in town or in the area and would like to play with Andrew and I, come down. We'll love to have you. There's a sign up on Poker Atlas for Ace and Vine Casino. That is on a Thursday from 3 to 9 p.m. We'll see you there. As always, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It does help out the channel. And until next time, good luck at the tables. We'll see you soon.